This is A View from the Bridge, official podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com. Today's Tuesday, the 12th of November, 2024. My name's Patrick Smith. I'm joined, of course, Mr. Majimsey, statistician for the Belfast Giants, and just down below me, local hockey legend, Simon Kitchen. Over the next hour, we'll be bringing you all the news and views of the Belfast Giants from the last week. We are live or on demand on YouTube, X, Facebook, and you can listen through all really good podcast providers. It was a win and a loss for the Belfast Giants as they crossed the Pennines to face the Storm and the Steelers with varying success. We'll be chatting about those in just a moment. It's going to be quite a short show this week, if we can. We always say that. But we'll also be joined by the new signing, Karl Boudrais, who started his Belfast Giants career with a goal at Altrincham, and he'll be along shortly to join us. Mr. Majimsey, you well?
Not bad, mate. Thanks very much for asking me along again.
Well, mate, there's no show without you, as there is no show without Mr. Kitchen, unless he's on holiday, of course. How are you doing, sis?
I'm okay. Thank you, Patrick. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing all right. I enjoyed the trip to the Drizzle Dome on Saturday night. As you know, quite often I come out of there quite angry, and not this case. Seems so far this season, touch wood, we've had our successes there. We'll go to those in a second. But it was, I'll tell you what, bit of a heads up for anybody going to the storm shelter. There seems to be a bit of a change going on there. Went along with like a backpack with some food for the kids. Had the two kids with me. They loved it. But put some popcorn in the backpack for them to have. They took it off me on the way in. Can't have food or drinking, change. It was nobody's fault because they kept saying it was them, and I went over to them and they said, "Oh, it's them. It's a change here." So if you're thinking about bringing food to Altrincham, don't take it off. Poor kids. And I asked the guy, "Do you sell popcorn inside?" He says, "No." Yeah, but they just give me the popcorn. They bring me the popcorn. Like, don't make it wrong. I know you can't do stuff like that at the SSE, but this is Altrincham. This is Altrincham. It's not I don't want to join a queue for 2 hours for a burger and miss half the game, which is what seemed to be happening. But anyway. So yeah, mate, I'm doing well.
How are you? For the short show, Davy.
Let's get stuck into the games, gents. The Belfast Giants took on, like I say, a team from Greater Manchester and a team from Yorkshire this weekend with varying success. It was a 7-2 victory in Altrincham over the Manchester Storm, followed by a 5-2 defeat in South Yorkshire against the Sheffield Steelers. Let's start with that game against the Manchester Storm. And first of all, we'll hear from the coaches.
I didn't think the score was indicative of how we played. However, the 2 goals in the first period were odd men rush against, and Belfast capitalized 3-on-2, 4-on-3, that kind of a thing. So first period we gave up two rushes against, and they capitalized. We didn't stay above the puck in the first period. Talked about it between periods. We went out there for the second, and I liked our game in the second period. But again, 4 goals in the second period. We got to do a better job of being in shooting lanes. And just, Belfast was really good in the transition game, getting their D up the ice as well. And I thought that was a difference in the second period. And third period, obviously we're down by 4. Maybe the opposition takes their foot off the pedal a little bit. It's hard to say, but I liked how we played in the third. Our compete was there, our work ethic was there, but we didn't do a great job of connecting the dots, whether it's making a second pass or a third pass or things like that. And their goaltender made a couple great saves for them when we had our chances. We took a timeout for the power play. Didn't materialize, but we did get 1 power play goal. So all in all, to answer your question, no, I don't think the score was really indicative of how we played. So it's disappointing, but credit to Belfast. They were first to the puck. They won a lot of the races, and that was the difference.
Yeah, we'll certainly take that. I thought we were pretty ruthless with our scoring chances tonight, and guys were finishing. Obviously, that gave us the lead. Obviously, don't think it was a 7-2 game, but I thought our guys were good. Stuck within our game plan there at the start of the first 40 minutes in particular. Didn't love the third period, but I understand guys there's a big game tomorrow and they don't want to get injured or go too hard, so we ended up giving up too much in the third period. But Jackson was great, and he kept it at that scoreline, allowed us to get that 7th one to kind of give us something there in the third period, because I don't think we had too many shots in the third.
Neither of the coaches thought it was a 7-2 game. It was a 7-2 game. The scores for the Belfast Giants were Kawaguchi, Cooper, Boudrais on debut, Roach, Gabe Bast, and 2 for Elijah Barriga. And for the Manchester Storm, it was Craig Martin and Grant Hebert, and it was Jackson Whistle in goal for the Giants. I'll say with you, Davey. Like, neither coach says it was a 7-2 game. Do you feel it was a 7-2 game?
Yeah, I'm comfortable enough that it was a 7-2 game. I thought that we rushed really well. We started. I'm not going to say too much in this, Paddy, because I think me and Sid should throw it over to you as you were in attendance on the night. I thought we started well again, jumping in that 2-goal lead. I thought we rushed really well on the night. I think our coach called it transitioning well. I thought we rushed up the ice really well, took our opportunities well, cycled the puck back to the blue line well, got bodies in front. And I thought the biggest thing, I thought when in Manchester, to win that game, you have to control the neutral zone. And I thought we owned the neutral zone pretty much all the night. And when we got those chances, we bore down on their goalie really well and took those chances. And obviously, the both referenced Jackson Whistle as well, 2 assists as well. So helping with the offense from 200 feet away is always a good thing.
So, I thought that there were really some real positives from this game, not least the way that we got at the Storm early and quite aggressively.
Yeah, first of all, I want to start with Neil Russell was looking well there in the interview, wasn't he?
Back at the Storm.
I just thought, you know what? It's one of those nights where you're shooting the puck and you're putting the puck past the goaltender. Fenninger last year, I thought, was probably one of the best goalies in the league. And I didn't think he looked particularly comfortable on Saturday night. I thought and Davey just touched on it. I just thought we transitioned very, very well. We moved up the ice very quickly and had our chances. I mean, you just watch this one coming through the middle, and then that slew foot from Ouellette, who took out Osterberg after the play, and that made it 3-0, and the game was more or less over. But the challenge, 2-0, and the game was, comfortable. We didn't strain ourselves too much in that game. When Manchester get a goal, you're sitting thinking, oh God, they're going to get another one here and come back into it even better. But Boudrais getting his first goal, top corner, great finish. But again, it's great to see 3 defensemen getting goals. Great to see, you taking the opportunities when they come along. It's unfortunate we didn't take them the night after. But overall, I thought it was a really decent performance. And Jackson with an unbelievable save in the third period at a really, really crucial time. If they get that in the third, it brings it back to 6-3. And we've seen them score 3 and 4 goals in the third period against us in that place before. So Jackson coming up with that save, I just thought it was probably, even the commentator said at the time, it's probably one of the best saves this season. So great to get the 2 points in Manchester. And I thought we totally deserved it.
Paddy, just as I was saying earlier there, to throw it back to you with you being there, couple of things I'd ask. First goal, lovely strip of the puck by Bo Hansen just on the blue line. And for me, I thought Kyle Osterberg had a really, really great game. I know he was involved in a couple of major physical incidents, but I thought he covered the ice really well on Saturday night.
I thought up and down the lineup, mate. I thought we were well worth the win that we got. You're right. I think for that first goal, the strip from Hansen set up that play beautifully. It just and flowed so well and hit the back of the net, and it was a great start for the Giants. Sis pointed out the incident with Osterberg there. I thought that the Storm were quite aggressive at times, quite physical at times, as they tend to be. I know that on our WhatsApp, I was pointing out the fact that once the game was gone for the Storm, I sort of hoped for a little bit of retribution towards Dallas Earhart, because after what had happened the last time there. But with the game, you heard it there with the game the next night against the Sheffield Steelers. Guys weren't wanting to get involved in anything too physical in that third period, and I think that told. Vinegar was good. I think he was hung out to dry quite a bit by his defense, which was a bit more stuck in a crawl a little bit more for him, considering in the third period they put Alex O'Dell in there, and all of a sudden the Storm defense turned up. I think that in that third period, I'd love to know how many shots on goal we got. I know we scored, but I don't think we had many shots on goal, or O'Dell had many actual clear-cut chances to save, because the actual Storm D just showed up in the third and shut down round the British netminder, which I thought was a bit rubbish from them. If you're going to defend for 60 minutes, if you're going to support your netminder, support the netminder that started, not just the one that was put in because you feel that the game won. But I thought it was, but I thought the goal from Boudrais was stunning, absolute hell of a strike, up and down the lineup. I thought we were brilliant, and I went out there, came out of there a very happy man.
Do you know what? It was great to see Lambo get a game. Obviously, he's a really tough.
Just about to say,
Zach Galambo said he obviously picked up the injury in training camp, and
had about 15 minutes in that game as well.
Yeah, I thought he looked very steady, and again, I think he's going to grow. I mean, the report when I was talking to Adam about this a few weeks ago, the reports that we were getting from his coaches that he's had before in college and what have you, were saying that he was going to be the stud out of between him and Cassetti. Cassetti, being the throw-in, as some of the coaches were basically, Coach Cassetti's a good player, but Lambo's he's the real stud. Well, let me tell you something. If he steps up and shows what he's capable of, looking at what Joe Cassetti gave us when he was playing at the start of the season, I don't think we'll be disappointed.
I thought defensively we were like you mentioned that save from Jackson Whistle, the glove save from Jackson Whistle. That was unbelievable at that time. And you're absolutely right in what you said. Says the amount of times, and I said this in the period break going into the third period, with not just the kids with me, but the family with me as well. And I'd said to them that yes, we've got a comfortable lead going into the third period, but I've been here far too often and watched the momentum grow for the Manchester Storm, where a comfortable lead absolutely evaporates in a second. So for Jackson Whistle to pull a save off like that, and because it was, shout out to the travelling support. There was one of the biggest away crowds in Manchester that I've ever seen, and they were in full voice through that whole game. Credit to them. But so because of that, my seat was actually in amongst some Storm fans who were getting more irate the more I shouted and the more I cheered. They got more irate the more Declan shouted, my 5-year-old son. They were like basically looking at the corner eye because there was a 5-year-old chanting for Belfast, But that's my boy. But the Manchester lad. But when Jackson Whistle makes that save, I'm standing up and cheering, and the guy next to me went, "It wasn't that good." When they showed it on replay, they showed it on the replay on the screen. He went, "Oh yeah, no, it actually really was that good." But yeah, that sort of we've seen the momentum from the Storm grow in situations like that, and that sort of killed that. And that sort of ended the game. The Giants were fantastic up and down the lineup, and I thought it was a great performance.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think that's all we really. Unless you have anything else to say on that, gents, we'll move on to the game the next night. No, the game the next night was a bit different for the Belfast Giants. It was a 5-2 defeat over in Sheffield against the Sheffield Steelers. Let's hear from the coaches.
Yeah, character win tonight for our group. Short benched, Veets coming in with one skate, giving us an effort after Whisk goes down last night. You could. There's 4 or 5 guys that didn't skate till Friday, and I thought, not a great start, going down 2-0 early. And from that moment, I thought we put our foot on the gas, and it started defensively for us tonight. We were outstanding in the D zone, and then our transition offense was very, very good. Good to see. Everyone in the building could tell Watts was laboring a bit tonight, and for him to come through with 2 goals and an assist in an effort like that when we're as short benched as we were was pretty special too.
I thought we played okay. Certainly not well enough to win. I thought Sheffield was a better team tonight. I thought they won the majority of the 50-50 battles, specifically in their end. Anytime we got a puck deep, we were losing all those battles. Which, after the second goal, it didn't look like we were going to get a third one. And that's tough to take there in the third period. I thought defensively we were all right. I don't think it was a 5-2 hockey game, but it didn't look like we were going to get the third. It didn't look like we had a real pushback. It didn't look like Sheffield was doing the little things, like winning those little battles around their net and behind their net to make sure that we were one and done, and that's the way it goes. Obviously, didn't do enough to have a real pushback, and that's disappointing.
Both goals for the Belfast Giants came from Elijah Barriga, one on a power play on a 5-minute major. All the 5 goals from the Sheffield Steelers, Watling, Guimond, Watling again, Viano on debut, and Rob Dowd with the 5th. It was McCullum in nets for the Belfast Giants. Says the Giants started really well. They really took it. They dominated the first period, and then it just sort of the momentum changed.
Totally. They get a late goal in the first period. I just touch on what you said. I thought we started really well. Obviously, easy getting 2 goals. They had the 2 the night before. 4 goals over the weekend from him. I thought he played really, really well. But again, I thought there was guys that, when we were down, especially when we're shorthanded against Sheffield, they're a good team. Make no mistake about it. I know we always have a go at them and leave them out of stuff and try not to mention them, but they're a top team. Some really good performances from the Steelers to get them going, but I just thought we played really well for 20 minutes and we didn't play very well for 40 minutes. It's those battles that Adam was talking about that we need to win. Tom, we talk about how good Tom was in October, and that was the only game he had the weekend. I think Tom's an honest enough lad to stand up and go, there's 1 or 2 there he'd want to get back. The first goal, I think there's people saying on Twitter that he's got to have that. I do think he's probably got to get a glove on it and get better contact with it. But I don't know which player from the Giants it was, but it sort of just came across his vision, literally as the puck's being struck, and that's a tough one, especially. I've said it before regarding the black uniforms. When you're wearing black uniforms and the puck's black, it's difficult to see on the background and what have you as well. But I thought that overall, the Steelers just they come out and they just when they talked about, Aaron Fox was saying there that they were short benched, the same amount of players what we had, but they basically put their foot on the throat and they kept going. Disappointing to not play as well in Sheffield as what we had the last time and lost, and when we were short benched. But we're going to take points off of Sheffield Steelers this year. Make no mistake about it. We're getting healthier. Just thought that we would have put a better 60-minute plan together than what we had on Sunday.
Kevin Tansey goes in the first period, Davy, on a 5+ game for boarding against Kieran Long, so it takes Kieran Long out of the game as well, unfortunately, and we wish him well. But I sort of hoped, given how fundamental Tansey is to the defensive lines of the Sheffield Steelers, that sort of would have kicked us in more and more for being aggressive towards the net. Yes, as I said, we lose that goal late in the first period, which is, it's a difficult one. It's not one that you would expect to go in, but the more that second period went on, the more the Sheffield Steelers just came at the Giants, and we seem to be second to everything.
I'm not sure that we were second to everything. I'm not sure that's a fair comment, in that we were trying to get the puck in there and to try and get that ozone pressure set up. It's part of our DNA. That's how we want to play the game. We want to play in the offensive zone. You've got to get that puck deep, and then you've got to go and win that first up battle to try and cycle it back. And those first up battles just weren't being won often enough. And unfortunately for us, as Adam called it, where there's a lot of one and dones where you're just chipping it in and they're chipping it out. And the rush has changed. We talked about momentum in Manchester on Saturday night and how quick momentum turns in a game. And I think that 1 goal just at the end of the period, and Sis talked about as well, I'm not sure if it's longer or not, there's just a little fly screen on Tom just as the wrist shot comes in, and he puts the glove up and it just doesn't hit the mitt. And unfortunately for us, that took it put a lot of life back into a building that had been quieting down well by us with getting the 2 goals. But it just was, there's a little number of things there that go against it. Obviously, the hitting longer. Okay, you get the 5-minute major, but it upsets a few things. It upsets lines, and people got one eye. I hope Longer's okay, and obviously was saying their best wishes on to him there. It was just for me a bit of a game of momentum, and we couldn't get going again after that. And yeah, Simon talked about it. Adams talked about it. Winning those one-on-ones in behind the net to try and get our ozone pressure set up just didn't happen on the night. I'm happy enough that we've got another 4 times against them. There's another 45 games to go here. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. We're going to be okay.
Yeah, that's it. And we've played 9 games in the league. 2 of those have been away. 2 games away at Sheffield. So they've not come to our place yet. There's still plenty of time. There's still plenty of changes and things to happen. A lot of hockey to be played. One of the things that Adam Keefe said there is that he didn't see us scoring a third. What do you think that the difference was? The fact that we weren't getting those A-grade chances on Greenfield.
Sheffield didn't let us. I mean, I think we did have shots, but we just didn't have a top-end quality shots. I didn't see the end of the stats, but I think we outshot them 2-1. I think it was 35-18 on target, but right. You can have as many shots you want, but you've got to get them quality shots. Greenfield's a top goalie, he proved that last year. But when you've got just a game, the night before, Tuesday or Saturday night, when you luck's on your way, and obviously on Sunday night, it just didn't work out the way we preferred to work it out. But like as I've already said it, we're going to take points off the Steelers this year. We've picked up 1 in 2 games in Sheffield now so far, but there's still a long, long way to go in this season. So don't be writing us off just yet. The
Storm outshot us 35-32 the night before.
Yeah,
we win the game.
Going your way.
Yeah,
that's what. Like you can look at the stat sheet as I do often, and like we probably outgraded Sheffield, believe it or not. Probably out XG them. I know these things hockey's not played in paper. That's the problem. Statistically we were pretty strong. Won our share of the face-offs, had good possession of the puck, just couldn't get inside. They sometimes when a team's short on bodies, they'll play a very stay-at-home game and they'll use that to spring their offense. And I just thought on the night, once they got that third goal, which is, by the way, a mile offside, top league in the country has to be better with those. It's not even close. It's something that has to be discussed as to why can't offsides be reviewed. That's a momentum swing. We talk about momentum swings, the go-ahead goal in the game, the light, however many, 6, 7.
The game-winning goal in the end.
Building. It's essentially the game-winning goal, Paddy. Yes. So all those little things, you add them up. Sometimes they go for you, sometimes they go against you. You've got to just move on quick, get back on the rink, get back to training, and don't worry about it too much.
5 fans watching in or waving their hands in the air saying, hold on a minute, what about us? But you're right, sometimes they go against you, but it shouldn't be the case in that. But yes, it was a 5-2 win for the Sheffield Steelers over the Belfast Giants. You can get the highlights on that on YouTube from Steelers TV. Just a comment. There was a terrible comment on Steelers TV as well with regards to from Ron Shudra. I think Mitchell Banas was sent down the tunnel to deal with his neck guard. Obviously, neck guards this year are mandatory, as they should be, and they were sent. He was sent down the tunnel with Ron Shudra saying that the linesman was being overly picky. I think that was a disgraceful comment, and I think it's hopefully something that will be addressed, because in this league and in this, the way things have been, and considering what happened just over a year ago, neck guards are now mandatory, and we should be learning from that. So
yeah, I think that DOPs are pretty good. They pick up most of the things that are said on the internet, so they should definitely be picking up on that one too.
Certainly. Right, let's crack on and invite in our guest. He joined the Belfast Giants just under a week ago, came onto the ice against the Manchester Storm and finished with aplomb and a lovely, lovely goal. Please welcome to View from the Bridge, Karl Boudrais. How are you doing, Karl?
Doing good. Thank you.
Turn your phone 90 degrees. Oh, you're saying 90 degrees. There we go. Perfect. How's your first week been in Belfast?
It's been really good. It's been a pleasure to be here so far. So it's been really good.
How does the opportunity come about for you to come and join us?
Well, I started in Slovakia, and the team had some changes because of losses, and then we agreed on terms to get our things going apart, and I just got the opportunity to sign here, and I took it right away.
Bienvenue à Belfast, Karl. Ça va?
Ça va bien?
Yeah, it's kind. Yeah. I mean, I will have to just speak English for the rest of the people that can't speak French. You had your first experience in Manchester and Sheffield, getting on the road with the boys early there. Was it a good weekend?
It was a good weekend. Obviously, we didn't get the result we wanted in Sheffield, but That's part of the game. The season is still really young, so we're gonna learn about it. But it was, for myself, it was really good to get things going in Manchester and get my first goal right away. So it takes a lot of pressure off, for sure.
Carl, the standard in the EIHL, you've been in the ring or in around the Giants now for a week, 10 days. But what's your thoughts on the standard over the weekend, the opposition that you played against?
Oh, it's obviously a really good league here, and I heard a lot of good things about it. And I think the league grew a lot the past few years, and it's starting to be a really good league here. Yeah, of course.
Obviously, getting to know your teammates. Has anybody stood out for you yet? Whether that be funny or whether that be skillful or whether that be just guys who like to be have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I think everyone is great here. Everyone is mature and is ready to go. And the first thing for me that stood out is everyone is involved in their in hockey, and like they want to win, they want to play, they want to be here, and that's a big difference for me compared to Slovakia where I was. That's the main thing.
In and around the rink, obviously, you had a few, you had a kind of week in Belfast before you were able to hit the ice in anger. Would you to get to see yourself around the town at all, get to settle in well?
Yeah, no, it was really good to skate. I think I skated only once at the SAC, but it was great to see the rink and just to skate on it. It's unbelievable here.
But you've been out to Dundonald then as well?
Oh, the Donald, yeah, I've been there too. I've practiced there, and it's a little bit different than the SAC, but it's okay.
I've got the goal. Davy, do you want to ask him about the goal? I'll bring it up here for you.
Yeah, Carl, obviously getting your first goal on your debut on Saturday night in Manchester. I think it's a lovely little drop pass, possibly from Scott Conway. I've got the goals in front of me here. Is it Carl? Yes, JJ Pickenich throws it up. Scott Conway has a little lovely drop pass off to you, and he just loads it up. You just walking into the high slot just to slam it home. Must be pretty pleased to see that one back.
Yeah, I was really happy that Scott gave it to me, and I called for it. So, and as soon as I got it, I just got my eyes up and I saw an open eye blocker, and I shot it and went in. So I was really happy for sure.
I thought I had to go up, but obviously it's
I'll find the goal, Paddy. I'll find the goal.
But Manchester's an interesting place to go and play. It seems to like the ice quality, the sort of smaller rinks. Is it something that you've experienced?
To be honest, not that much. I only practice on smaller rink, like in at Donald, and back in the coast, we used to practice on a smaller rink like this. But it was a lot different, a lot of time and space taken from you, and it's you gotta play quick. And every shot it's danger. Like you saw my goal, my shot was probably close to the blue line and it went in. So
I think this is the goal here coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's our third goal. So yeah, let's just let it play. Let Carl, you take the microphone there, Carl. You talk us through
play
this.
Behind. It's little Carl. It's your play from behind the net when you pick the puck up and you turn up ice and you literally see everything in front of you. Talk us through from literally picking the goal and puck up behind our net.
Well, as soon as I pick up the puck behind the net, I got some speed right away, and I knew I was beating my guy up the ice. So I was I just wanted to get an opportunity to get a fourth man on the rush, and that's what happened. And I just got lucky to get the pass right there from. That was a nice pass, nice entry, and it's quality chance for sure.
Given that's your
sorry, Paddy, Carl, it's one of those plays. When we've got young fans that are watching tonight and young hockey players that are watching as well. It's that when you start coming around behind that net, you start crossing over and build your speed up. And before you actually cross the red line, you're looking over your shoulder to see who is coming back to mark you. And obviously you have that little bit of space to get your head up and pick your spot.
Yeah, I think it's always important to know before you get the puck, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to shoot it? Are you going to pass it? Is there a guy in front, wherever he is? And I think it's really important to get your head on the swivel for sure.
Like, obviously, that was your first time being out on the ice with the Belfast Giants, picking up that chemistry, picking up those sort of plays early. Is that difficult?
If it's difficult, I don't think so. I think when you get on a team like Belfast, it's pretty easy. As soon as you get your first practice, you know already all the boys are tape to tape passes. The system is good, and I think it's actually easy to play with good players than it is to play in a league that it's there's less good players. So it made me look good there for sure.
We look at the obviously you talk about Slovakia, and when I picked you up in Dublin Airport, you were saying about the import level, the communication. Obviously you're French Canadian and English. Is English your second language or is it your first language?
It's my second.
Okay, so your second language, but you're also the one. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. The Slovakian. Everybody spoke Slovak in Slovakia, and the coaches didn't really make an effort. And you were saying it's when you're playing in an English-speaking country, it makes it that little bit easier. As you say, when you're playing with good players and the likes of JJ Pickenich and Scott Conway for that goal, it's their vision as well, because when Scott Conway drops that puck back to you, he takes his man away, and JJ's already taken his man too, which opens up that little pocket of space for you.
Yeah, like you said, it's a lot different than in Slovakia. First of all, they don't really talk to you. They don't really care about you unless you're putting like 2 points a game, and it's hard. It's hard mentally, and it's hard to get that smile at the rink every day because no one's smiling. Even the coaches, like you play good, you play good or bad. It's just a win, and they want result right away. So are we. But like we won't do video afterwards, or they don't talk to us. So it's more by yourself. So it makes me a little bit more difficult there. And yeah, like you said, like you play like good players, you know they're gonna make you look good, and you're gonna make them look good too. So it's really nice.
What knowledge do you have of the Elite League before you came in? Do you know guys who have played here before, or what sort of scouting did you do before agreeing to come to Belfast?
I actually talked to one of my buddy, Will Cullen, that I play with in the East Coast Hockey League in Worcester.
Oh, yes.
And I think 2 years ago, I texted him and I was like, hey, how's the EIHL? How's Belfast? And because I wanted to go overseas and I didn't go, but he told me how awesome it was, and all Belfast as a city was unbelievable. The fans, the organization, the players, and everything about it. So I was like, wow, that looks nice. And then you see, 2 years after, I'm right there.
You said you wanted to go overseas. You were thinking about going overseas 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Was that always part of your plan? The sort of, you had a couple of years, you had a few years on the coast, and you just thought, I'm actually going to take the opportunity to go to whatever I can take in Europe.
Yeah, it was part of my plan to visit and to learn about the hockey here, and it's a lot different, and I think it fits me well because I like to use my skating ability a lot. So here it's bigger ice and it's more about speed, and than in the coast it's a little bit different game. Yeah.
Carl, your coach in Worcester, Jordan Smotherman.
Yeah, he played in Belfast too, actually. Yeah, Jordan Smotherman. Yeah, he wasn't my coach though. I was playing with him.
Oh, right. It was the year before then, right? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think of Smo as a player?
Great player, great vision, and I got him when he was a little bit older, but you can still see like this guy can play, and he's just got that vision, that mentality as a pro. He's a pro all around off the ice, on the ice, and it was really nice to meet him for sure.
He came in to Belfast in 2018, did he?
18 for the
Challenge Cup final.
Challenge Cup final.
And scored the overtime winner in Cardiff for us in the Challenge Cup final. So he was
very popular.
Belfast Giants fans love him for sure.
That's a big one to score.
Yeah, he's very, very, very popular player here. Very popular player, and it's good to know that he was still at it and still doing well. And I think, like you say, says he's moved into coaching now as well. One last thing, Carl, before we let you go. Obviously, you've got a game on Wednesday night, and then back to the SSE for Fife and Glasgow again. How's the preparations going? How are you fitting in? How's the training going?
Everything's doing good, and it was nice to get my routine on the road at first, so I know what time we eat and how do we get there. Obviously, we're flying every time, but I didn't really know it, and it's nice to fly because in the coast we're always bussing, and it's hard on the body. After 72 games, you're bussing, and you're getting at home at 4 a.m. and you play the next day, so on a 3-and-3, so it's a lot different, and I like it. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go for sure.
Fantastic. Well, listen, it was a great debut from you and good debut weekend, but certainly to get a goal on debut, fantastic. And we really enjoyed that. Good luck this weekend. And no doubt we'll chat to you further down the road.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
Big thanks to Carl for coming and joining us. Nice guy, says.
Yeah, he is. I picked him up at Dublin Airport there nearly 2 weeks ago now, and he was looking forward to getting into Belfast. He was telling me about a few challenges that he was having in Slovakia, again, some.
That's 2 weeks in a row we've heard about challenges in Slovakia with Cons the week before. He was saying it was difficult there.
You know what? And that's the thing. It's better money in Slovakia. Make no mistake about it. Definitely better money than what it is in UK hockey, and you get the opportunity to go and play there. But the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's a top league. It's got some really good players in it. But when it's not your first language, and obviously Con speaks English and Carl's French and English, but it's difficult to communicate. In hockey, it's universal sport, and a lot of the plays that you have in there are self-explanatory a lot of the time. But it's the way it's been communicated by coaches, and Carl was telling me he was having a few challenges, and then because they weren't winning, the first people that get criticised aren't the local players, aren't the Slovaks. It's the imports. So they just basically they can afford to pay them off, or they can afford to get them out the door. They'll just do that and try and bring somebody else in. And I think he was telling me he brought in Nick Ritchie, the guy straight from the EIHL. So that's the type of money that these guys have. And but again, I think we're lucky to have Carl. I know Adam and Steve are really looking around, but the injuries that we had, and the potential is that Carl can play forward as well. So hopefully, again, great to have Lambo back again, and obviously we've got a few different options there, and hopefully Mike Lee's not too far away, because Mike Lee was playing really, really well before he got hurt, and we can get those guys back again. We'll be all right.
It's interesting, Davy, a player like that, and you've seen the way that he played in a way. And I'm sort of like, the question I asked, I know it was a bit of a different one, but to come into a team on debut where you haven't run the systems, you haven't played with these guys, but then to slot in and score a goal like he did so effortlessly, it just shows you that the guy's got talent and that he does slot into this pretty well.
It also shows. Sorry, Sis, I thought that was to me. Go ahead.
It was, but Sis, if you want to go for it, it's fine.
It's what you text me on Saturday night. This guy can skate. You can see that it's the first thing I noticed about him when he got on the ice in Dundonald. Moves very, very well, and that's basically when it's straight line speed's very good, and but it's also you seen him coming around behind that net. He takes 2 strides and he's gone. The back checker is not getting him, and he makes that. He sort of makes a play when you watch the way he passed for his goal. You watch the way he passed the puck to JJ. JJ's going forward, and he's coming back, and he puts it in front of him. JJ doesn't have to break stride. It's that tape to tape passes that makes the game an awful lot easier. And when you get the puck in front of you, JJ doesn't have to look back. He doesn't have to, keep his head in the swivel, watching the other way in case he's going to get nailed coming in. Collins is jumping up into play as well. It's just a great goal. And again, it's everybody played their part and absolutely perfectly. But I think it's a good pickup. I don't think that's going to be the last goal he's going to score this season for sure. And we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow night in the game against the Clan.
Yeah, just to add on to what Sis is saying there, when you come into a club that has very well set systems and you just have to slot in because everybody knows where they're going to be, and you've got quality like JJ Pickenich and you've got quality like Scott Conway making those play, the headman pass from Boudrais sets Pickenich away. He knows where Conway is going to go, and Cons drives into that slot and everybody's thinking shot. And he takes, if you watch that replay back again, he takes 2 D-men, although Sis referenced at the card when he was coming up the ice. As soon as he hits the blue line, when he passes it to JJ, just as he goes out of shot, he's just doing that over his shoulder. And he's seeing that he's got a little bit of separation. Keep the pace down, keep the pace going. Then Cons pushes 2 D-men even back towards Vinegar even more, creates a massive gap, just drops it in to where Carl's created that bit, or where he's created that space. He just goes in and it's not a big rocket. It's placed right in the top corner. He sees it and he puts it there. A really, really nice start for him. And add for Galambos as well. Really good to see both of them icing out there. Go ahead, Sis.
If you go back and watch the goal from the replays and watch where Vinegar is, he's right out the top of his blue paint. So that shot is an unbelievable shot from where he was. He's literally probably 8 or 10 feet inside the blue line, gets his head up and throws a top cheese. So, a really good finish from Carl for sure.
Let's have a chat quickly about we mentioned it earlier on, and it was the hit from Kevin Tansey, the 5+ game from Tansey on to Longer. Let me just bring it up, and we'll bring it up full screen. And Davey, I just want you to take us through it and your thoughts on it, if you would. Obviously, this happened about 5 minutes into the first period. I will. That's not the best. What I'll do is I'll go cinema on that. Obviously, it's not the best, but the wasn't a very clever thing for Tansey to do.
No, I think the sort of the worst part of it is just here, where it's not just body contact. The Longer, who's I know I talked about vulnerable positions and players, etc. last week, but here he also, just if I can super slow-mo through it, he extends through the hit. Here, you see the arm coming out, and it extends through the hit. That's not a good look. Obviously, Dobbs haven't said anything that we know of yet, but that's dangerous. And Longer's hit those boards hard. He does manage to get the arms up the brace ever so slightly, but not very much. And it's head in the boards.
His hands are on a stick and remain on a stick until you get down. So
that's the sort of point there that you can just see where Tansey then extends on out with the push. So not only has he made contact shoulder, he's then gone, where's my camera? And sort of finished through the hit, which, it's going to be looked at, no doubt, by the Dobbs team.
So it's an absolute no-brainer for the referees. They went and reviewed it, and he was kicked instantly.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know what? Tansey, just by his reaction when you watch the game, he knew that straight away it was a bad hit, and he didn't argue the point. He didn't, everybody on the ice
in his hands up.
Yeah, when you know, and it's unfortunate for Longer to take the hit and get hurt, and Tansey, as I say, he knew straight away that it's a bad play from him. I don't want to say he didn't mean to do it, because ultimately as a defenseman, you want to get your guy to the wall and get him out of the way, but just by his reaction to the play itself, he didn't argue about it. None of the Steelers, or there's a little bit of a push and a shove immediately afterwards, but I think everybody was concerned about Kieran more than getting involved in anything else, to be very, very honest. And we knew it was going to be a major penalty. Officials did the right thing. They called the major penalty so they can review it, and obviously it was upheld and thrown out of the game. And I think Davy's right. They'll probably get something will happen. I don't know what it'll be. I'm not allowed to comment.
No doubt Dops are having a look at it. We'll see in the next day or two whether they take any action. A couple of more things, lads, before we start to wrap things up on this slightly shorter show. Just both concerning officials. We did get a message from our good friend Toby Craig on Twitter asking us to plug the Movember. Obviously, across November, the Elite League's game officials are showing their support for the Movember campaign by growing moustaches and wearing special jerseys as they go through it. The campaign, of course, began on the 1st of November, and they've already raised over £1,000. Davy, Toby's wanting us to donate to his campaign, but it's a good. We've seen the shirts that the referees have been wearing. I know that there were questions about it on. I had questions about it on Saturday from people who hadn't been to the game before, saying what's with all the mustaches on the referees. But it's great that the referees are getting involved in this.
Yeah, Toby did send me a message. I can't say what it was, and I can't tell you how much I said I would send him, but I said I would send him something, and.
Was it between £16 and £17?
It was closer to 17 quid, to be fair. But
do you have to send them near? Hold on, do you have to send them near 20 quid now? Unbelievable.
You should send them the same amount.
Well, hopefully Dops will look after the refs and use some of the fine money that they've been coining in this season to bump up the wee moustache fund. It's all for charity.
It's good to see, isn't it?
Yeah, he sent me one as well. So
careful, Sam. Don't say anything else, man.
No, I'll have to get on here. You know, I'll see if I can find a few quid. You know, my bank account's been. You know, I need to watch my pennies for sure.
I had a bit of unexpected expenditure this week, mate. I believe your boiler bust.
My boiler did bust, which was an extra part of it, but yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Well, the next point I was going to make is also revolving referee, so maybe just be me and Davey discuss this, but it's the DEL referee, Andrew Anson's, going to be working 3 games. Was working 3 games in week 10 as part of the overseas officials being allocated to the Elite League. He's a Latvian. He's worked in Germany for a number of years, and later in November, 2 Danish officials are going to be part of it, and there'll be an exchange program with the Metal League in Denmark. I think this happened a number of years ago where we did have this sort of exchange. Certainly before COVID, we had this sort of exchange, and we know that the likes of Dalts and stuff have been across to Denmark to referee games in there. This is obviously shared learning from experience, and a lot of referees coming in to show that, Davey, and it can only be a positive.
Mate, as long as the exchange works 2 ways, like it's a positive thing. We need to send some away as well. No, I only say that in jest. It's great. It's great for learning. Wrong, Simon. It's great. No, it is. I say that facetiously. It's great for learning. I know that around the first time when the Friendship 4 came here in 2015, Simon,
yes,
Friendship 4.
2015 was, yeah.
That the refs from the NCAA offered to, throw anything at the referees that they could in terms of coaching. It didn't work out with just the way fixtures landed on the weekend, but there's obviously learning sharing that can be done across the league. Is it Frederick Monet, the linesman? I don't know whether he's full-time Elite League now or whether he's jetting in and out. It's great. I'm all for, and I'm sure the officials are all for whatever they can do to enhance their skills. And I know I say that with a bit of a jest. Wouldn't it be great for them to be able to go to other leagues and get a little bit of experience in other countries, bring back that knowledge as well, train up the next generation? The likes of Toby, who's a bit longer in the tooth in the game now, wanting to pass on his knowledge to younger guys as well. So, it's a good thing. I hope it goes well, and I hope it's repeated on many occasions.
That's it, and you look at that, and we've had Dalts on before talking about investment in refereeing and how, and I agree with them that there's an element where maybe the referees should be semi-professional. If you want to develop it, you need to put the money in, you need to put the funding in, you need to put the training in. Yes, where does the money come from? That's fine, but no, the league Mark Brooks, hello, the commercial element of the league will have to develop to a point where funding goes into the referees, and yes, an element can be made semi-professional to allow this to happen. And because you mentioned Toby Craig there, yes, he's no spring chicken, great lad that he is. He's no spring chicken. On Saturday night but on Saturday night they announced the officials, and one of them was Paul Stanford. And I thought Stanley retired like a decade ago. You know what I mean?
More comebacks than Sinatra, that boy.
But Stanley's running the line, doing the lines in Manchester, and it's just like, so there's a level where these guys need to be. This is unfair, but to be replaced, and I say it in inverted commas, because there needs to be the development for referees to come through from maybe the EIHL moving up into the elite league, and how that happens is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's unfortunately we seem to have when
you've said nothing and you've said too much already.
No, but this is actually fact. Like everything else to say anyway, but that's besides the point. When referees get their level here, so I'll give you a perfect example. Tom Darnell, yes. He's the best referee in the country, and he retires.
Yep.
Liam Sewell over the last couple of years has been the best, if not one of the best, and I'm pretty sure Liam's retired. And obviously, he's doing a great job in the official side of things now, with the hockey side of things for the EIHL. But he's still a young lad. I still think he's a lot to offer and should be doing it. Obviously, Hicksy was up there before he took over the roll-off ice as well, and you sort of just need to try and keep these guys going, because there's not a never-ending line of top quality referees, and that's the bottom line. And I think it's great that that guy, the Latvian fella, he refereed our game on Sunday, didn't he?
Yes.
So great to see that. I thought he had a decent game, to be honest, from what I've seen from TV. But no, it's obviously Hogarth as well. Stefan Hogarth. So he was doing really well for a while, and unfortunately, he's not feeling up there at the minute. But hopefully, it's not the end for a lot of these guys. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Toby Craig was refereeing me when I was 6 or 7. He's been around a long time, giving me penalties and all since I was a teenager. For goodness' sake,
give you penalties now. Gives them to Scott Conway just for
that. Absolutely. But no, look, I'll go back on as soon as we get this show over with tonight. I'll go on and send him a few quid for sure.
Yeah, so two really positive things with regards to official, and it is that exchange program, and of course the Movember. 3 games for the Belfast Giants in the next week. We are away to the Glasgow Clan on Wednesday, and then at home to the Five Flyers on Saturday, and at home to the Clan on Sunday. You get that away game. If you're not travelling over to the Braehead Arena, you get that on Clan TV, possibly with Murph. I know he's been doing a lot of the commentary there. And then on Saturday, on Sunday, of course, you can get yourself tickets to those games, Challenge Cup games, get yourself tickets as the Belfast Giants are chasing that top seed. And if you can't get it, you can join the lads on Belfast Giants TV. Big shout out to Marty. The other week, he had to do the commentary on his own with no codes. There are no code comms, and that's not easy, sis.
No, it's really not. But we just didn't have anybody around to help him out. So, and I still can't see the puck properly. So, oh well. Yeah, a big shout out, Marty. I watched that game back, and he had to do it all. When you have to basically do all the commentary yourself and no code comms, it's not play by play is a difficult thing to begin with. It's not, it's a talent to be learned, but it's but yeah, to have to do everything is a very difficult one, and he did it well. So fair play, Marty. But yeah, join the guy if you can't get down to the SSE on Saturday or Sunday. You get yourself on the Belfast Giants TV. 3 games for the Belfast Giants, and that's where we're going to wrap it, gentlemen. A short show this week. Lots of things on for us all. Big thanks to Karl Boudrais for coming to join us. Or is it Boudrais or Boudrais? Boudrais.
Boudrais. That's what I thought when it was announced at Altrincham. It was announced as Boudrias, and I was like, no, that's not right. So big thanks to Karl Boudrais for coming and joining us on this week's show. So big thanks to you two gents. On the socials, you can get us at. Oh, go on. Sorry, any other business? I've not even done the other business.
Thanks, Paddy. Keep your eyes peeled on socials. Young Ethan McLean, as I say, we're still trying to do that fundraising. To keep an eye, because there's something announced in the next day or so about that as well. So keep an eye on that. I think that's it, actually.
How's the tickets for the big night on the 3rd of December?
Yeah, there's still some tickets available for that for sure. There's still a lot to be announced. I don't want to give anything away, because ultimately the club will be putting that out in the next couple of weeks, and like again, the Friendship 4 is only around the corner as well. And,
yeah, going to deal with that next week, mate. Going to plan
like,
for
I know
that
Davey's
next
not
week.
going to like this, but I'm sure you're going to be trying to get your hands on one of those Notre Dame jerseys.
Fantastic. They look fantastic. They're
very popular, yeah.
For the Belfast. I went online, but you can only get them delivered to North America. So I'm going to get I'm going to get my uncle to go the order one. I think it looks fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that.
The club have been contacted a lot from different people asking for them. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, but I'm gonna plan for a bit of a dig into the Friendship 4 over the next 2 weeks as we build up to what is a return of a fantastic weekend. And looking forward to it. I'm sure Davy is, who seems to have frozen, or he's just looking straight down his camera.
Blink.
He's frozen. Blink if you can hear us, Davy. There he is. He's actually quite good, man. He stays that still for that long. The right at AVFTB on Twitter. You can get us on Facebook, X, on you can get us on YouTube and Instagram and kingdomofthegiants.com and all the normal sort of things. As I said, 3 games away to the Glasgow Clan on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. If you're not making it over, you get that on Clan TV. And then at home, you can get it. We are home to the 5 Flyers and at home to the Glasgow Clan Saturday and Sunday, 7 p.m. and 4 p.m. And if you're not making your way down there, you can, of course, get it on Belfast Giants TV. Big thank you to Davy. Big thank you to Sis. Good to see you boys. We'll see you next week. And wherever you are this weekend, we hope you enjoy your hockey. We'll catch you next time on A View from the Bridge.